Hello again from TK's Travels. For this trip, we spent 5 days in Meramec State Park, about an hour outside of St. Louis, Missouri. Our first day started out with an easy hike on Bluff View Trail. It was a 1.5 mile loop starting near the camp store. We found this awesome octagon shelter along the trail, and then proceeded to take a wrong turn on a lesser used trail leading to another trailhead. We had to circle back and get in the right spot, but there weren't any clearly marked signs along the trail. The trail was supposed to be blazed in blue so that we could find our way around, and we went for about half a mile without seeing anything. But we did have our map with us and GPS, so we felt pretty safe. But definitely do take a map if you do this trail. We didn't see any amazing bluff views, but maybe some are visible during fall or winter. Day 2 led us to St. Louis for a quick day trip. We stopped by the Missouri Civil War Museum, where Lila learned a little bit about Missouri's role in the Civil War and added a few new books to her library. Next, we headed downtown to the Gateway Arch. The building and adjoining museum have recently gone through major renovations and looked incredible. The lines were a bit overwhelming at first, but weren't too bad. Once inside, there's an extensive history museum covering St. Louis's early history to present day. We missed out on quite a bit because we wanted to make sure we didn't miss our scheduled tram to the top. Although we found out later that you can go up any time after your scheduled time, just not before. So although our ticket said 12:30, we could have gone up at any time after 12:30. As we waited for the tram, we learned more about the construction of the 630-foot tall arch and the mechanisms used to take visitors to the top. Each tram car holds 5 people, so if there's more than 5 in your group, make sure you split up accordingly. If there's less than 5, it was our experience that they only put us 4 together, so we didn't have like somebody else crammed in there with us. But it is tight. If you're claustrophobic, please keep that in mind. What do you think, Sunil? Once we were at the top, we had amazing views of the Mississippi River to the east and St. Louis to the west. I don't know how far we could see, but they said on a clear day you can see up to 30 miles. It's pretty crowded at the top, but everybody moves along and takes their turn at the windows, so you definitely get time to see out both sides. Sunil was scared to look out the window, so we just took turns with me and TK and Lila. I think Lila enjoyed it the most.
I'm on the top of the Gateway Arch.
What do you like about the arch?
It's so high.
Will you come back again?
No.
No? Why?
No.
And don't worry if you don't get a good picture of your group in the tram car. They actually have a replica one right outside. You can take your time and take a nice group picture in that one. After visiting the arch, we stumbled upon a pizza place that I would rank among the top 3 I've ever had. Pie Pizzeria really delivered on pizza and dessert for our hungry crew. Like most boys, at one time or another, Sunil is fascinated by dinosaurs, so we rounded out our day trip with a trip to the Science Museum. We got to get up close and personal with a dinosaur bone and a few fossils, and even learned about how damaged bones are repaired.
So we actually have volunteers that go out and dig. They're out there right now. So they go and they will look for fossils in the ground, and then they'll dig them up and bring them back here for us to clean up.
What is he doing?
He is in the process of filling in the cracks of the bone with an epoxy that'll dry hard and help stabilize that fossil.
So similar to something like this?
Yes, similar to that. I like that.
That's a little bit bigger than yours, right?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Thing in the Science Museum. What's your favorite?
Because I had to run and make the ball go.
Back at the park, we scheduled a river float trip for the next morning. After discussing our options with the young man working at the store, we decided to make the 5-mile trip downstream with our own inner tubes. If we had gotten a 6-person raft, it would have cost us over $160, and the 4-person inner tube, well, the 4 single-person inner tubes were about $10 a piece. Plus, they charged us $5 to take the bus, so it was really a lot cheaper to do it that way. He told us, it's usually about a 3 to 4 hour trip on our own inner tubes, but because we had 2 kids with us, we'd want to stop along the way and expect to be back about 4 hours. So they took everybody in the group on the bus, 9:30 in the morning, 5 miles upriver, dropped us off, and then we floated back down to our car. We started off well enough and even made friends with a dragonfly that landed on my toe. Sunil named him Clyde, and he stayed with us for quite a while. But I have to admit that when we got back to our car, badly sunburned, tired, and with one popped inner tube 7 hours after we started, our smiles had disappeared. The next day we stayed home and nursed our sunburns while making plans for the following day. But we should have taken a moment to check with Mother Nature, because it didn't just rain, it poured for the next 24 hours. Our neighbors and tents packed up and left, as did many RVs and small campers. Our gravel pad had about 4 inches of standing water when the lightning started, and we seriously considered packing up and spending the night in the hotel. TK waded out into the water to anchor our floating gray water tanks when lightning struck so close to our camper that TK felt the electricity surge through his body. We all felt lucky as he jumped back into the camper, shaken but unhurt. We packed up early the next day to avoid the rain and get an early start for our next campsite. Before we packed up completely, we discovered a hidden little beach where we could have spent a truly lazy day floating in the river and not stuck in the middle of nowhere. Once you pass all of the campsites, you're going to look for a little parking lot on the side, and then you're going to look for those 2 little signs next to the bike rack. There's lots of signs along the way, but only one bike rack. Follow that path all the way down through the jungle until you hit the beach. Once you get down to the beach, you'll see there's a great area for you to bring umbrellas, picnic blankets, coolers, chairs, and definitely don't forget your inner tubes. What a lot of people were doing is they were starting out on the right end of the beach and getting in their inner tube and following the river down to the end and then walking their inner tubes back up. A really nice and convenient way to enjoy the river. And now for my favorite part, campsite awards. Overall, there were 3 standout campsites. They were 178, 179, and 180. They were tucked away into the woods and surrounded on 3 sides by trees, so all 3 win most private and best for hammocks. However, they are not reservable and are only available on first come first served basis. So I'm going to try to stick to reservable sites. We stayed in site 59, which is definitely closest to the showers and the playground, but was not hammock friendly. And it definitely was not private. If you're looking for both privacy and a site in close proximity to the bathrooms, this may not be the site for you. However, there are a few sites worth mentioning. Like 121 was great for hammocks, and site 2 is right next to a campground host, so it's going to be a little bit more private because usually those are retired couples and they stay busy during the day. Sites 196, 203, and 207 were especially nice if you don't mind a quick hike to the bathrooms. If you like this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up. To find out where we go next, hit the subscribe button, and as always, thanks for watching.